Coming up, school upgrades, trophy hunting, 29 road interchange. We have the results from last night's local elections.
And today's reaction to a historic Trump win.
And in our forecast, we're talking about slow warming right up through the weekend. I'll have that look ahead for you coming right up.
Live from Grand Junction, this is KJCT News 8 at 5:30, and it starts right now.
Thank you for joining us at KJCT News 8 at 5:30. I'm Hannah Hickman.
And I'm Kevin Stanfield. 2 people are now under arrest accused of stealing election ballots in Mesa County.
Yeah, this is an update to a story we told you about a few weeks ago. According to the 21st Judicial District Attorney's Office, Vicki Lynn Stewart and Sally Jane Smith intercepted more than 20 mail-in ballots, forged signatures, and then turned in the ballots to the Mesa County Elections Department. Now, Stewart was an employee of the U.S. Postal Service. The two are now facing charges of identity theft, forgery, and attempting to influence a public servant.
While the Mesa County DA wouldn't comment on this issue, Mesa County Clerk and Recorder Bobby Gross did issue a statement today saying, in part, I am proud our security measures are effective and we will remain vigilant to safeguard the integrity of our elections. I'm committed to transparency and accountability every step of the election process so that voters in Mesa County can have confidence in the ballots and they are secure, end quote. To see the full statement, just head to our website.
Now, your first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Stephen Bowers.
All right, we've got snow on the ground covering Highway 65 here up on top of the Grand Mesa. Also victim to that snow is Highway 550 over Red Mountain Pass. You probably expected that one. And look at that. Heavy snow is actively falling along Highway 50 up on Monarch Pass. So we still have some areas of snow, especially up in the mountains. And even locally, radar is picking up on some snow along the plateau and even up on the Grand Mesa. So you get up on the high spots, there is some lingering snow even right now. And down low, there's even a little bit of lingering patchy light rain, even in the Grand Valley. A lot of this, though, is probably evaporating before it reaches the ground. That's not to say you can't find a little sprinkle, though. But there's bigger snow setting up over the eastern part of Colorado from the Front Range to the plains. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on in tonight's newscast. But look at the chill. It's 42 in Grand Junction right now, but it's just 29 in Montrose, where the clouds have been more hesitant to break today, and 31 is the temperature in Cortez. And again, clouds have been hesitant to break there too. Remember, you can keep an eye on any lingering snow on the First Alert Weather app, and I'll be back to talk about where we're heading. Hint, warmer. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Hey, don't forget to download our KJCT News 8 app for the latest news, weather, and sports. This is Western Colorado and the Grand Valley's best way to stay on top of important news while you're on the go. Just search KJCT in your phone's app store and download it for free. Getting to the election results now. Measures 4A and 4B passed for Mesa County. Now, these measures extend a tax for upgrades for several D51 schools. Our
reporter Ivana Olivas spoke with Superintendent Dr. Brian Hill about the district's next steps.
Measure 4A would put an extra $190 million in D51's pocket, while 4B would extend a mill levy override from 2017, giving the district another $6.5 million a year.
We have over $600 million worth of deferred maintenance in our district. This will take care of a good chunk of it.
About 70 of the $190 million passed will go toward renovating Central High School, things like securing the entrance and building extra STEM classrooms.
The building is not ADA compliant, so if you're a student in a wheelchair, you can't actually access a lot of the building. You actually have to go outside the building to get to parts of it. So we'll take care of all the ADA issues in the building as well.
Central High School isn't the only school getting a facelift. Fruita Monument will undergo renovations along with HVAC and roof repairs on several other schools.
So we actually have already started the process of looking into architects and general contractors, because we were hoping that this would pass and we want to hit the ground running.
But not everyone is happy with the election results. Some residents on Facebook community boards are not celebrating. One saying, quote, "You have 3 or 4 elementary schools up for closure. You spent enough on Grand Junction High School." Another person saying the tax was supposed to end after the completion of Grand Junction High School. They say it sounds like a bait and switch. And again, Dr. Hill says these renovations will begin right away. Reporting in Grand Junction, I'm Ivana Olivas.
And we'll keep you updated as those renovations begin to happen. Well, so far, a majority of Mesa County voters have voted against ballot issue 1A. That ballot issue would have Mesa County assume an increased $80 million debt with a repayment cost totaling over $173 million for the design and construction of an interchange loop at I-70 and County Road 29. Now, the project has been in the works since the 80s and will continue to sit in the planning stages.
I think it's fair to say that while I'm disappointed, I absolutely respect our process. I love that as we consider a project of this scope and size, that we go to the voters and we see what our community wants and what we prioritize.
I think it was a realization from a lot of people that we have a lot of needs here that need to be addressed, and sadly a lot of things were being put on the back burner because of this project potentially.
Now, the groups against the 29 road project are hoping the focus is turned towards resolving other issues like affordable housing. The people advocating for an interchange at the 29 road and I-70 intersection tell us the need for the loop will stay and will only get more expensive. Colorado Proposition KK will pass after it was met with a majority approval of 54% of Coloradan voters saying yes.
Yeah, this proposition will put a state sales tax on firearms and ammunition. KJCT News 8 reporter J. Ron Alex today spoke with people who are directly affected by this new tax and has more.
The state tax on firearms and ammunition sales will apply to manufacturers, dealers, retailers, and ammunition vendors. The money from the tax will go to crime victim services, mental health programs, and school safety initiatives. Come next year, purchasing a gun, some ammo to go with it, or maybe even an attachment like a scope will have an added charge to it. The receipt that gets passed to you will show a new 6.5% state tax. According to Jerry's Outdoor Sports, a locally owned gun shop, this may come as a surprise for some.
So for us, it's mostly going to affect our end customers because it is going to result in higher prices for them. It's going to result in a lot of friction with them.
The money from the tax promises to raise around $39 million in its first full year. Money will go to crime victim services, mental health services, and school safety programs. And for an organization like the Colorado Children's Alliance, this will help keep them afloat.
It will be a lifesaver for our organizations. All of our organizations have been facing some really drastic funding cuts. About 75% of the federal funding has been cut since 2018.
Retailers from Jerry's Outdoor Sports tell us they plan on negotiating with manufacturers to get the best prices for customers to limit the impact of the tax. The Colorado Center for Child Care says the money from the tax will help fill a $2 million hole in their budget that came from federal budget cuts. There are exceptions to this tax. Sales to law enforcement agencies, peace officers, and active duty service members will not have the tax. In Grand Junction, I'm Jaron Alex reporting.
And this new gun and ammo tax will go into effect on April 1st of next year. And for more information on the tax, just go to our website. Well, another very controversial issue was dealing with Proposition 127. It did not pass, but it would have banned the hunting of mountain lions, bobcats, and lynx in our state. In Mesa County, 66% of the residents voted against that. Statewide, it was a closer race with 55% voting no. Prop 127 received support from wildlife activists and opposition from hunting groups and rural government officials. This is what both sides of the issue had to say about yesterday's results.
Rural Colorado should be happy, and the wildlife lovers should be happy too, because CPW still has the tools to effectively manage wildlife here in Colorado.
The next steps are really coming together and looking at how do we work with Colorado Parks and Wildlife for this meaningful reform? How do we get them there so they can see really, hey, this is backed by science. They know that already.
For now, hunting bobcats and mountain lions is legal with the proper licensing, but hunting lynx is still illegal. Coming up, reaction from Capitol Hill on the Trump win.
And a slow warming trend on the way. Stephen has your forecast.
Now, your first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Stephen Bowers.
All right, Wednesday has come to its end. It means we're about halfway to the weekend, right? And our weekend looks a-okay. Look, Saturday may start with some clouds, but it'll gradually brighten up a bit. Expect a high in the lower 50s around Grand Junction after we start the day with upper 20s, and then we get to Sunday. Sunday's going to be mostly sunny. The day starts near 30 degrees and then warms to 55 degrees. So there's some warming evident for our weekend. In Montrose, it's similar warming, but still just a little bit cooler. Again, Saturday starts cloudy but brightens up. We'll start the day near 23 degrees and then warm up toward 47 degrees. So we're getting closer to that 50-degree mark. And then Sunday actually cracks the 50-degree mark. I'm calling for a high of 52 under a mostly sunny sky. That morning low is going to be near 23 degrees. And then there's this, a big winter storm just zapping the eastern part of the state right now, especially the southeastern plains. And today you see the reds, the oranges down here near Trinidad and up toward Walsenburg and extending out across the plains. That's where travel can be an absolute nightmare, and that's just today. Let's keep this going because Thursday also is problematic. And you know what? As luck would have it, Friday doesn't look too good either across the eastern and especially the southeastern plains of Colorado. So we have some lingering spots of snow over our high elevations, even a little bit of lingering light rain around the Grand Valley, but it's out east where things are really starting to go downhill. Already we're getting some surges of snow from the north up and down I-25 and extending out across the eastern plains. Now you watch our futurecast and we see our snow fading, the clouds break up and will become mostly clear tonight, so that's the end of that for us. Now, there still may be some passing clouds, but look what's happening over the plains. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning from Denver down through Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Trinidad, and out to the Kansas state line and beyond. From 6 to noon, that's a no-go, right? And then we keep going through the afternoon, and maybe there are some spots that get a break. And then more snow tries to break up through the night, but we get another surge of this on Friday from 6 to noon, back to 6 p.m. There's widespread heavy snow across eastern Colorado. Finally, 6 a.m. Saturday shows this storm system on its way out, and by lunchtime, we should start to see some improvements across the northeastern part of the state. The mountains really don't even get a lot from this. We get out toward Denver, and maybe up to around 4 inches can fall. And then we get more than a foot around Woodland Park, close to a foot around Colorado Springs and Pueblo. But then you look out toward places like Lyman and La Junta, down toward Trinidad and even Kim. How about 2 to 3 feet of snow? That's what's expected across the plains. This area from Trinidad to Kim is on the upslope side of a land feature called the Raton Mesa, which runs right along the state line, the Raton Ridge, rather. And that's an area that's favored frequently for some of that heavy snow. So this is the storm system, these low pressure systems that are out there affecting the plains. This high pressure, though, this is going to become the main feature in our weather. So these clouds are going to clear. Today they kept us down to 45. 32 was the low temperature this morning. They're still here for now, but they will start breaking up in the next couple of hours. Right now 42 is the temperature, and we're going to be cooling down even with the clouds through the 30s and then down toward teens and 20s for tomorrow morning's lows. There are single digits in the forecast up over northwestern Colorado. Then tomorrow we recover to the lower and middle 40s, 30s in the cool spots, but that's just the start of the warming. And that warming takes us up into the 50s by the time the weekend gets here. And we'll see plenty of sun, even if there are some clouds around for Friday and even Saturday morning. Monday itself looks good. That's the warmest day of the next 7. But remember, warming frequently leads to our next storm system. There is a storm system that comes in Tuesday. Now, during the day Tuesday, I expect that things are quiet. It's mostly in the late afternoon and evening when we start to see some rain. That rain can change to snow Tuesday night, and that may linger through early Wednesday morning. But by the time we're heading out the door and getting on to work and school on Wednesday morning, the rain and the snow should be winding down. The leftover clouds will clear out, and the sun's going to brighten the afternoon. But Wednesday is going to be noticeably cooler after that nice warm-up into Monday and Tuesday.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. Millions of Americans are now celebrating the win of President-elect Donald Trump today. After a very turbulent 4 years out of the Oval Office, a majority of voters chose to give him a second term.
A win secured early this morning after he landed the battleground state of Wisconsin, which gave him more than 270 electoral votes needed. Michael Yoshida has more on voter reaction.
He's going to clean everything up and make us all normal again.
We need a strong person at the helm.
We're very uncomfortable with how many people are coming across the border. We're in Texas.
Please welcome President-elect Donald J. Trump.
Voter support turned into massive voter turnout and victory for President-elect Donald Trump. He's now the second person in U.S. history to win 2 non-consecutive terms as commander-in-chief. Reaction and reflection from both sides of the aisle.
I think there is a populist and a anti-incumbent wave because of the impact of both the pandemic and the recovery from it.
The top two issues for voters were the economy and the border. This was an overwhelming victory for President Trump.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate.
And I think presidents who are given a mandate to govern deserve from the Senate the opportunity to surround themselves with people that are going to help them execute their policies.
And a Republican Senate is exactly what Trump will have after the GOP secured enough seats to take control of that chamber overnight. Republican and former Representative Liz Cheney, who campaigned with Vice President Kamala Harris, said in a tweet, "Our nation's democratic system functioned last night, and we have a special responsibility to support and defend our Constitution."
I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept.
In West Palm Beach, Florida, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
And the U.S. Secret Service will begin protecting President-elect Donald Trump's immediate family members in the coming days as the transition period between Joe Biden's administration and Trump's takes place over the coming months.
Well, check this out. Super giant TVs are flying off store shelves. TVs that measure 97 inches and more diagonally across are also known as double XL TVs, are becoming a huge hit thanks to cheaper prices. Prices for 98-inch TVs have fallen 53% from a year ago, and sales have soared 877% over the past year. You heard me right, 877%. Ultra-large TVs still aren't cheap, though. Many of the options range in price between $1,700 to $3,000. But one particular feature of interest for the buyers of these double XLT TVs is the multi-view option. A 97-inch TV can split the screen into four 40-inch boxes, 48 inches, by the way. And that makes it easier to watch different events.
Coming up on your TV, regardless of size, one of the most talented basketball players in the state has decided where he will play at college ball. More on that when we return.
Ford. Now, sports with Garrett Brown.
One of the best on the basketball court on the Western Slope, and the state has committed to continuing his hoops career at the next level. And you'll still be able to catch him on courts here from time to time, just in different colors.
Athlete of the Week, sponsored by the law office of Chadwick McGrady.
One of the best basketball players in the Grand Valley and the whole state has announced his plans to continue his basketball career at the college level, and he'll be doing so while staying in Colorado. Fruita Monument star forward Daniel Thomason will head over to the Front Range to play for the MSU Denver Roadrunners.
There were a lot of things to take into account when I was making the decision, but I think just the coaching staff and the players, and those relationships that I made on the visit, I think it was just there's a very good connection and very real relationship that came out of it, and so I think that's just something that I wanted to be a part of with those coaching players. I told my parents first, and then when I was talking to all the coaches, I talked to Coach Vicky at Metro, and I told him first.
For Thomason, the chance to play at the next level is the culmination of years of hard work and dedication.
Definitely. I mean, I've been playing since like first grade, maybe even before that, and I've always wanted to play college basketball, and so for that to happen is just it's just insane to think about.
And playing for the Roadrunners, well, it does come with a few additional perks. For starters, Fruita's own will still make the trip over to the Western Slope to take on their conference rival, the Colorado Mesa Mavericks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's cool that I get to come back here and play, with Metro being in the RMAC. I got to stay pretty local, but, I also got to see a lot of different things.
On top of that, Thomason will be right next to the center of the Colorado basketball world, Ball Arena, home to the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I mean, the campus is actually right next to Ball Arena, so that was something that the coaches talked about, is that, it gets packed on campus when there's a Nuggets game, but I mean, I think that's pretty cool that the campus is right in the middle of Denver, and something that I'm definitely looking forward to.
Thomason says a part of making this decision now was so that he could focus his time and energy on the upcoming high school basketball season, with Fruita looking to repeat their immense success from last season, where the Wildcats were repeatedly ranked the #1 team in the entire state. and posted an undefeated regular season.
I mean, over the summer when I was kind of finishing up my AAU, I was thinking of making a decision after this high school season. But as I was getting closer and closer to the season and to school starting, I started thinking more about like just making a decision before season. That way I could get it out of the way and, you know, just focus on the high school season.
But the ultimate goal, according to Wildcats star on the court, remains the exact same.
I mean, win the state championship. I feel like, you know, if we make goals that are lower than that, like, there's no point. Like, might as well just make a goal, go for it all, and, you know, go into practice every day with that mindset that at the end of the season, we're gonna end the season on a win.
Thomason and Fruita basketball will get their season started at the Warrior Challenge tournament on December 5th. And if you have a local athlete or team you'd like to see featured on Athlete of the Week, you can find out how to submit that on the article for this story or any of the previous Athletes of the Week on our website. But for now, that'll do it for your look at sports. We'll be right back.
That's why we offer free Medicare evaluation to anyone.
So locally, we still have some little spots of snow. These are going to be fading here over the next couple of hours. But look over eastern Colorado, Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, out to the plains. These are areas that are going downhill, and widespread heavy snow is likely tonight, tomorrow, and Friday. Some areas can get as much as 2 to 3 feet of snow. That's going to be a travel nightmare for you if you have plans that take you through the plains. Tonight, we're clearing, we're cooling. We'll start tomorrow with 10s and 20s, we'll warm to 40s under sunshine.